Shadows lengthen, the sun dips toward the horizon, and a cool evening breeze stirs. Another day draws to its end in 13th century Greymantle. The forges go dark. Merchants break down and pack away their market stalls. Folks from nearby villages and hamlets shuffle out of the town gates, back toward home. In the parish church, the Vespers service begins, and the tavern bustles with noise and light and life. The evening offers the last window of time to move freely around the town, taking care of business, getting food or drink, or visiting friends. At Compline, usually about 8 or 9 p.m., the curfew bell is rung. The gates are locked, the night watch fans out through town, and Greymantle settles in for sleep. Nowadays, curfew just means a time when everyone has to be inside and off the streets. But the word comes from the French couvre-feu, meaning cover fire. A town's biggest worry was the threat of fire erupting while people slept and hearths went unwatched. So by law, at night people had to be inside and all fires had to be covered and reduced to, at most, a low crackle. With no street lamps and no hearths blazing, and no true police force, a medieval town could be an incredibly dark and foreboding place at night. Greymantle's night watch patrols the streets, not so much to look out for criminals, as to watch for any signs of fire. Like most medieval night watchmen, Greymantles aren't paid. They volunteer to do the work because it raises their status among the townsfolk and gives them a break on some of their taxes. Medieval Europe was incredibly class-conscious, and many were willing to work long hours to boost their reputation. Medieval Europe could also be a harsh place to try to make a life, and people at its margins were often lost to the darkness. It was no small thing to be willing to be a night watchman. Threats were real. But it wasn't just the night watch and troublemakers that trod the dark streets. This was the time when another very important player in the town did his work, the night soilmen, or nightmen for short. Popular culture still pictures people throwing open their windows at night and dumping chamber pots into the streets. Medieval people didn't fling poo around and didn't like it any more than we do. They had a civilized, if low-tech, system for dealing with waste. First, a town had several public outhouses, which emptied into deep cisterns or into water channels that flushed the material away. The rich had their own outhouses, or even toilets within their house, piped to send the waste away. If none of these was an option, well-built, tight-lidded chamber pots were a good fallback. At bedtime, filled chamber pots would be set out front by the door, for the nightman to collect and empty. Greymantle's nightman is one of the few people given freedom to walk the town after dark. He makes his rounds, checking each doorstep for chamber pots. For outside cisterns, he negotiates a good time with the tenants to clean them out, very much like modern septic tank service. Greymantle's nightman also makes extra money by selling some of what he collects. Urine breaks down into ammonia, useful in fulling mills to clean and degrease wool. Feces was important in tanning. Its chemicals could strip hair and fat from hides, turning flesh into leather. And of course, dung makes good compost for fields, after it's been left to break down for some months. Being a nightman was unglamorous, but then as now, people could make a good living doing dirty work that others didn't want to do. And, given a choice, most people in Greymantle would prefer being a nightman over being one of the Western Watch. To the west, Greymantle's land drops away quickly into deeply wooded vales. Its deepest recess is home to the standing stones of Barrow Vale, an ancient graveyard for a people long forgotten. Sometimes, out in the depths, the eerie torchlight coming from the standing stones of Barrow Vale can be seen from the town. That ancient graveyard, often veiled in a sickly mist, is said to be haunted, and the fear it emanates has spawned many a ghost story among the townsfolk. Catching a glimpse of it through the trees is bad luck, but those assigned Western Watch duty are compelled to search out the blackness all night long. Whether or not evil things lurk in the deep forest, they surely do lurk elsewhere. Welcome to 13th Century Greymantle.